Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second episode of Season 3 of Behind the Bench. I am Rocco Granato from InLacrosseWeTrust.com, and with me, as usual, from WaxPhilly.com is Gary Grube. Gary, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay, Rocco. It's a nice sunny day here in Toronto. It's another summer day, it seems, and let's hope that this lasts long into the fall.
Yeah. Well, the sun is one thing that we're missing right now. It's kind of cloudy here in the Philly area, but hopefully tomorrow, that little bright yellow thing that hangs up in the sky, hopefully it makes an appearance.
Well, hopefully, it's a lot better than if you were in South Carolina.
Yeah, and that's and
do the front crawl.
Yeah, and that's the first thing to all our friends and if you have family out there. I guess the only thing I say is hang in. We're everybody's with you here. We want to see everybody come out of this safe. So heed the warnings of your leaders, your governor, your mayor, whatever you have. If they tell you to get out, get out. They're saying this is
the stupidest thing you've ever seen, though. Like the CNN reports, where they keep telling you to leave as they're standing in the middle of the puddles.
Yeah.
Is that not the dumbest thing you've ever seen?
Yeah, if they're telling the people to get out, why CNN? I mean, I know they got to cover it. It just
Why do you have to cover it from the middle of the swamp? Which
yeah.
A street.
Well,
I would believe you if you did it from your hotel room and just showed me out the window.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah. Well,
to my family in the Philippines who are enduring a typhoon right now.
Yeah.
Category 3, which is right near them. They are safe and they are hunkered down, but intermittent power.
Okay.
So let's hope that passes quickly.
At least they're
this is extreme weather that we're having. Let's move on.
Yeah. Let's move on. Speaking of moving on, something, Gary, that you and I talked about
July 1st of last year, if I remember correctly, if I want to pull up the show.
Yeah. We mentioned about Halifax being a team that would be coming into the league.
I believe I mentioned that they would be a place kind of like a Saskatoon.
Right.
That, they embraced hockey when it was there, and they will embrace the NLL coming there. And with an 11,000-seat stadium, that will not have a problem to sell it out.
Yeah. And now,
they are a very passionate sports people. And they will take this and run with it.
Yeah. Now, on January 29th of this year...
And this one is just the way the league went about this, which we'll get into.
Right. Now, on January 29th of this year, if you get access to the copyright, the U.S. copyright names and everything, the name of the Halifax Privateers was copyrighted by the National Lacrosse League for team jerseys, hats, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, etc. Meaning that would be the name of the team once one was given. This past week, something that we also talked about, that we said it might be possible that the Rochester Knighthawks may be moving or they may be sold. We really weren't sure. Well, lo and behold, it kind of brought back memories because somehow I was on the season ticket holder list for the Knighthawks, and I get a letter from Kurt Stiers that went out to all the season ticket holders about the team going to Halifax. Kind of reminds me of when the Wings did it, when they sent a letter out to all the players saying, don't say anything because in 15 minutes we're announcing a move. The more I thought about it, Gary, the more I kind of I agree with you. Okay.
The letter itself was cryptic and stupid.
Yeah. For those who don't know or are trying to have a hard time understanding it, the Rochester Knighthawks, after this season, after the 2018-19 season, Kurt Stiers is picking up everybody that is there, that is under the Rochester Knighthawks moniker right now, the players, coaches, organization, etc., and moving them to Halifax, Nova Scotia. That means players like Cody Jamieson, Matt Vince, Jake Withers, Sid Smith, Paul Dawson, let's go on, with names. Scotty Campbell. They will no longer be a Rochester Nighthawk. They will be the Halifax, what I'm assuming would be the Privateers. But after that was announced at 9 o'clock, 4 hours later, the Pagulas came down to Rochester from Buffalo. And
by the way, own the Buffalo Bandits. Let's just throw that one in.
Yes, and also own the Buffalo Sabres and the Buffalo Bills. And they also bought the Blue Cross Arena this past summer. So with that writing on the wall there, they went ahead and purchased a team. Now, with Kurt Stiers moving to Halifax after the season, he left the name and history, etc.
Which is stupid.
There in Rochester. So they can use the name of the Rochester Knighthawks.
We should be calling them the Rochester New Hawks.
Right. So
the history there is, that's just plain stupid. It's an expansion team. Expansion means new. How can you have 5 cups if you were new?
Right.
The logic isn't there.
Well, I guess
you make an asterisk saying the former team that was here has it, but the team is still around just under a different name. They have it.
Right, and
that's their history. That's their lineage. They're not new.
Yeah, well, I guess how there'll be an asterisk on there that the Nighthawks from 1995 to 2019, X number of championships. Then
and then it'll say C Halifax Privateers.
Tears, right.
Or Highlanders, or
whatever.
No-name people, or whatever the heck they want to call it.
I think it's going to be the Privateers because that's what the copyright has. But
whatever. It's insignificant to this.
Right. But what has happened is they have purchased the team, so Rochester will not have to suffer the 4 years like the Philadelphia fans did and wait to get a new team.
So let me get this straight now. The team that we're going to be watching these people cheer tomorrow and through this year will be on the visitors' bench the year after, and they have to boo them.
Exactly.
That makes a whole lot of sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
now, the I have on this is just this. The price that Stiers was going to put on the Nighthawks, or whatever they're going to be called, was higher than what Pagula wanted to pay. So Stiers then said, okay, I will move them to Halifax, and you can come in here with a new team, only having to pay $5 million.
Right.
It all has to do with dollars and cents, people, not logic.
Yeah.
Now, where the league comes in here is they drop the ball, because now this just looks stupid. That's all.
Yeah.
It just looks stupid. You moved a team that everybody has been following there, has all their swag, all their jerseys, all the other things, and now they're going to move, but you're going to bring in a team that's going to have new swag and new jerseys, and it's all going to be the same, except for one thing. None of those players are going to be there.
They may, you never know. It depends on the expansion draft.
Okay, you'll get 2 of them. Okay, so what? Now you're going to have to start from scratch and rebuild it all over again.
Right.
Even though you have a team that's on the verge of winning a championship. Oops.
Exactly.
It gets smarter and smarter the further we go along here, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, and like you said, it comes down to dollars and cents, and most likely, what you're saying is, Stiers was asking way too much money, and Pagula said, okay, fine. Dave in Halifax, I'll pay the $5 million for a team, and what he's doing is he's also turning around, and he's putting in over $22 million in renovations to that arena.
Now, there's the bright spot in all of this. That's the bright spot.
First thing being put in is a brand new scoreboard.
I would hope the first thing put in is some freaking turf.
Well, that I think is going to be obvious, but they went ahead and started talking about the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I think they said something like 10 by 16 feet long.
That would cover the entire stadium.
Almost, yeah. Well, they're doing a lot. They're going to do a lot of renovations. They even went as far as saying even the bathrooms are going to be renovated.
You ever been there? You need them.
Yes. New locker rooms also.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely need that.
Yes.
But in those locker rooms, yeah. Concession areas are going to be enlarged and remodeled and everything. It's going to get the arena up to the 21st century.
Hey, they're going to get away from analog and actually go to digital. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. High def screen, the audio, the video, And like you said, Gary, hopefully somewhere in there.
The voice of the formerly known as Knighthawks, Craig Grabczynski, who is from the Rochester area, does he have to pick up his family and move him to Halifax, or is he going to stay with the new team?
You know what? I don't know. I haven't talked to him.
Director of media as well as the voice.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious, Because
there's a whole bunch of unanswered conundrums in here.
Yeah.
Below the surface. Like, it's bad enough that I'm listening to everybody split on whether they like it or they don't like it. Well, it is what it is now, unfortunately, because the league, the governors, for some reason, decided, hey, this is cool.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to leave that up to him. I don't think he's going to have to move. They might just have to fly him in. Like some of the other players.
Let's assume the players can fly in, but if you're the director of media, you got to be there day to day. You're the guy.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes it a little bit strange. Now let's play devil's advocate, shall we? Let me give you a couple of scenarios, and let's see where we go with this. Now we're in 2020, and the teams are all happening, and everything's going down the wire. Sitting in second place is the Bandits, and sitting in fourth place is the Newhawks. And they need Buffalo to lose so they can get into the playoffs. Does Buffalo lose? Do we have that kind of conflict of interest?
No, because
coming down the trade deadline, they need somebody.
Well, Gary, I'm going to stop you right there.
In the Buffalo Bandits jersey, and they get a couple of players to be named later.
No.
That kind of nonsense happened.
No.
All worst case scenarios, but nonetheless scenarios.
But they will not
I
happen.
realize the Board of Governors has to approve everything.
Yes.
But the Board of Governors had to approve this, and blatantly did this anyway, so I don't have much faith in that.
Well, I don't see anything like that happening, because on the Board of Governors you have...
But do you really want to leave yourself open to that kind of I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know that's the first thing.
If I can second guess, so can anybody else.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing I thought of, and then I read the article that came out, and I don't think the league would want that to happen.
I don't think the league would want that to happen either, but I still think that Vegas has a lot to do with who wins in the NFL.
Right. Well, if you look at
crazy.
Well, if you look at the very beginning of when the league happened back in the 80s, okay, Russ Klein and Chris Fritz owned all four of the teams.
And that's why the thing failed.
No, it grew. It grew from there. He just had to pick, Klein and Fritz had to pick what team they wanted. But you never had anything like that. Mm-hmm. You didn't have anything going on like that with the teams to make one better than the other. But I don't believe that they would let something like that happen. Because
it's out there, though.
What?
It's out there, and as long as you have humans, you have things like that possible.
Oh yeah, well anything is possible, because they even said, okay, well, when the Wings come back, with French being part owner of the Black Wolves, do you think they'll work out some kind of a deal where they can send some of the Black Wolves guys over to the Wings for a low amount? Yeah,
that's a little different than your son. Your son running the team, right?
Right, but I don't think they're going to risk anything like that. I really don't.
I assume not.
Yeah, I have a little more faith in the league and the governors that are doing this, that that they would even think or take a chance of something like that. That's just
devil's advocate.
Oh yeah, no, I know, because I thought about it and I'm like, oh wow, it would be something that they trade Dane Smith over to the Rochester Knighthawks just for future considerations, and then
for marketing, it's nice to have a couple of star players there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then Rochester says, oh, well, you know what? We're not going to sign him. You can have him back, so this way it don't cost us anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that has passed through my mind, but I'm going to keep my faith in the powers that be, we'll say.
I just find it to be a little irresponsible to leave themselves open for this kind of discussion.
Oh, yeah, well, the moment they heard that the Pagulas were going to most likely purchase the Knighthawks, this has been kind of probably murmured under everybody's breath since the summer when they bought the Blue Cross Arena.
Uh-huh. But it's not like they're going east-west. If Cy comes in with a Brooklyn team, it becomes east-west.
East-west, right. This is
You're
east.
100 kilometers away from each other.
Yeah.
They're in the same division.
Right.
Rivalry is there. It's close.
Yeah, it's close, and it's, but I don't think that's something like that would happen. I'm pretty sure it was all brought up in discussions and things like that. We'll just have to, I guess, we keep it in the back of our heads, and whenever we see a trade between the two teams, everybody's going to say, is that trade really worth it? We're going to have to...
it's going to be completely under the magnifying glass.
Yeah, and it will be, and that's fine.
But I'm just curious, say 5, 6, 10 years down the road, when this isn't forefront, then we have to start considering worrying about that. Right now, anything they do is going to be under a microscope. Anything.
Yeah.
But 10 years from now, it won't be, because there's just going to be another team in the league, and nobody's going to know who the owner is. So, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Now my question is this. So we're now going to have at least a 12th team coming in. So who is really team number 12? I guess you would call Rochester team 12.
Yeah, don't you find it a little bit east heavy?
Yeah, right now. So that would give you 7 teams in the East right now.
And 5 in the West?
Right, which tells me that there's going to be 2 more teams added, and they're going to be coming out from the West. Which probably most likely would be if Edmonton is ready.
Well, there's been no word out of Edmonton, but I'm thinking San Francisco because Golden State looks like they're very interested.
Right. So you get 1 there.
And then you're also looking at Seattle with a brand new stadium there.
Right.
Which will automatically will give the Vancouver, and what I'm hearing is their name will be the Warriors. Yeah,
I saw that. And that's going to be announced next Friday.
Yeah, the Vancouver soon-to-be Warriors against Seattle or against San Diego or against... There's actually teams to play.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have new name, new logo, new uniforms, everything. So that's going to be revealed on the 21st. I saw that, so... Yeah, we'll just have to see. So, if there's going to have to be 2 more teams added.
Well, that would go under what Govett was saying last year, that there's going to be a team very close to them coming in.
Right.
And the 3 groups that we're looking at is Vegas with all the success they've had with the hockey team. San Francisco, again, with Golden State being very interested and with a refurbished arena. And Seattle, again, with a refurbished arena and them coming into the NHL, I believe, in 2020.
Yeah. Now...
That, again, even though the league decided they didn't want to follow their own mantra, that this will fall right into the MO of what the league wants to do with NHL or NBA ownership. To A, own the arena, and B, tap into the season ticket holder base to make sure that they have crowds. Now,
let me ask you this. We know most likely there's going to be, other than Halifax coming in, and being East heavy at 7 teams, we almost know for a fact there's going to be 2 West teams added in to give us 14 teams for next year. Okay? Do they raise the number of teams eligible for the playoffs at that point? Or do they keep it 3 in each conference?
If it were up to me, I would realign the conferences first off. But secondly, I would keep it as is. Otherwise, you have what happened a number of years ago, and you have the longest preseason ever that almost everybody gets into the playoffs. And that's no good.
Well, you would have 14 teams, and 8 make the playoffs.
So that's not bad. I like 3.
Well, that's still not bad. 8 out of 14. It's better than having, 6 out of 7.
Well, here's the problem, is when you start getting into these longer playoff scenarios, you're going to be playing far into the summer, which also hurts MSL, WLA, and MLL.
Well, that's why the season's starting in the beginning of December, and what you do is...
you're going to have to end it in May.
Yeah, well,
I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, what you do for the first few rounds of the playoffs, everything but the final is a single game elimination.
It is now.
Right. And you just keep it that way.
But you're going to add weeks because you're going to add another round.
Okay, but what the problem that they're having, look at how many bye weeks there are throughout the season.
Well, they're doing that just because the season is going to increase with the amount of teams increasing.
Right.
They're going to fill in those bye weeks with season games.
Yeah,
they're just missing out this schedule right now that they don't have to go any bigger than it is. The problem is that with a season like this, as remained, come playoffs, if you add another round, then you add another week. We're already into, well, it was June the 11th this year.
Right.
It will be June the 18th then, the next time around. That's already well into the MLL, WLA, and MLL schedules. So that's the problem. You can't barely start this in November. The training camps start in November. These guys have barely finished playing Mann Cup. So it's a sticky situation. Again, with 5 weeks of buys in there, they're going to fill that up with the eventual 22-game schedule, and then further then with more teams.
Yeah, they're going to. Well,
once they have enough teams to make a really big schedule, i.e. an NBA or an NHL schedule, then we have a different scenario. Then we start this thing, and then they have to realign everything.
Right. Well, that's where my other suggestion comes into play, which would eliminate a lot of bye weeks, okay? Remember when I said before, if you're playing the team, let's just say, twice, you're playing them 4 times in a season in your division, okay? Or if even if you're playing them 3 times, okay? And 2 of them are at that arena. You have it that weekend that you're playing them. You have them play Friday, Sunday on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that will cut out one of those weeks right there.
But the league was saying they're trying to get rid of playing 2 games a weekend.
Yeah, well, if they're going to up
funny, they're spiting, they're cutting off their nose to spite their face.
Right, but if they're going to up the games, like if they want to go to a 22-game schedule.
Me personally, I love seeing back-to-back games if they're done right.
Right.
If you start getting these dumb schedules, which has Toronto in Rochester or at home one day and in Vancouver the next day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We've watched a couple of teams have to do that and have all kinds of travel issues because, believe it or not, sometimes the planes don't go on time.
No. Shocking, isn't it?
If you have, say, playing Buffalo one night and playing Rochester the next night, or you're playing Rochester and Toronto in that weekend, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
of course it makes sense.
Yeah, get on a bus.
Travel-wise, too.
Yeah, get on a bus, travel down Interstate 90, boom, you're there. Jump over the border, do whatever.
And if you're in Rochester one night and if you're in Calgary the next night, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No. I mean, maybe Rochester, Halifax, maybe.
But even if you're doing Vancouver and then San Diego, being that they're both west, yes, but it's at least a couple-hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways.
Yeah, it's something that has to be...
but again, they're going to have to look at that because they can't have the season go any longer.
No.
So, again, when we start getting into 14, 16, 18 teams, yes, they're going to have to revamp but I think they need to revamp the conferences, too.
Maybe.
I hate it because I hate this year's schedule.
Right. Well,
I absolutely despise this year's schedule. I get to see a whole lot of the same team over and over and over again, and I see very little of the West.
Yeah, and that's what
only 2 Western teams in 9 games here at home.
Yeah, that's what.
Pathetic.
Yeah, we're upset about that here in Philly because the Wings, the last 3 games of the year, they travel out to, I believe it's Vancouver. Let me look here. I have their schedule right here in front of me. Is this their home? Yeah, let's see. They go... Yeah, their last 3 games are in Saskatchewan, in Vancouver, in Georgia. Okay? So they go to Saskatchewan. They're also going to San Diego on March 16th, I believe that is. It's a Saturday. The only West team that we get to see here, other than Colorado, because we have an ongoing rivalry with them when they were here in the East, is Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We don't see Saskatchewan. We don't see Vancouver. We're not going to see San Diego. Okay?
That's ridiculous. Like, this league isn't that big that we have to sit there and say, well, you only get to see these 3 teams.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Colorado enough. Okay, there really is no more rivalry there. Okay, let's bring in. I mean, yeah, Georgia Swarm's here because they're in the East. Okay, bring over Saskatchewan. Okay, you got two players there in McIntosh and Church that went to Drexel, went to college right down the road from the Wells Fargo Center.
Well, regardless who's on the team, you have the champions.
Right.
Don't you want to see the champions come to play?
Exactly. I mean,
that makes no sense to me. And, well, again, being the fourth-class citizens here in Toronto, the Leafs play here. Whatever.
Well, the Leafs are there.
Well, the Leafs occupied a place, anyways. In the whatever they call it this week, Scotiabank Arena. But out of 9 games, 7 of them are Friday night games and 2 are Saturday. Now, when we take a look at the numbers, you'll see that most teams draw better on the Saturday night.
Right.
Not on the Friday night. Why? Because people work. As for someone like me who works at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, this becomes a problem. It's a minor problem, but it's still a problem. And it also goes towards pre and post and all the rest of the stuff that goes along with the experience.
Yeah, it's just...
It's stupid. A lot of the schedule is just asinine.
Yeah,
I realize there's 2 new teams, but, I don't see them in there.
Okay. The lacrosse convention this year in Philly is...
I get to see Philadelphia here twice.
Yeah, it's January 11th. Okay. Wow. That's going to be an interesting weekend. The U.S. Lacrosse Convention is here in Philadelphia, okay, in 2019. The weekend of January 11th, 12th, and 13th. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That Saturday, the Wings are playing Georgia. So, kind of a smart move. You get people from the Lacrosse Convention coming to the Wells Fargo Center. Hopefully to see a game. Not too bad. But when I looked at the schedule, I was hoping to see that Toronto would come to Philadelphia sometime in April when it's a little warmer, so we could have our yearly tailgates again.
I would have liked that, but I have to go there January 26th if I want to do that.
Yeah, January 26th in the snow.
Yeah, I can see myself not making that trip.
You never know.
Well, I can see myself not making that trip. Look, the warm places at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, because...
But I stand corrected. The 2 teams that come here from the West are in the month of February, where it'd be like summer for Saskatchewan. February the 1st, Saskatchewan comes to Toronto, and February the 15th, the San Diego Seals make their inaugural visit here.
See, you get to see the new team.
I do get to see the new team, but I don't get to see anybody else.
Right.
I don't get to see Vancouver. I don't get to see Calgary. No, I don't get to see any of these teams.
Yeah. Yeah, our season starts off with Buffalo on a Saturday afternoon game. Then we go to Rochester on the 29th. Then we're in Toronto for January 4th, home on the 12th against Georgia, at Buffalo the 19th, then Toronto comes to town, and then Rochester on a Friday night. I mean, I think we have like 2 Friday games, 2 Friday night games, 2 Saturday afternoon games, and everything else is on Saturday night. So that's not too bad.
Well, that's because the Flyers play Sunday games. The Leafs only play Saturday night games. They don't play Sunday games.
Right.
The Raptors have Sundays.
Well, the Sunday games that they play at that time of the year will be either in the afternoon, like at 3 o'clock or whatever, because that's one of our games is at noontime. That's on April... I can't tell the way they make the 6 or the 8s on here. April 6th against Calgary. That's a 12 noon game. Because then the Flyers are playing later on, so...
That's nuts. But, the month of December, the season starts December 1st with Toronto and Buffalo. We don't see them at home until the 28th.
Wow. Of December.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have 3 games that month. 2 of them are away, and we have bye weeks the rest of the month.
Yeah, well, we're making our yearly trip to Rochester. We're going up December 8th for their opener against New England. And then we'll be up there again on the 29th when the Wings go up to renew that old...
I'm going up for the fire sale to Rochester. That'll be April 6th.
Yeah, and that's again, I want to go there. Go to that, but we're playing Calgary at 12 o'clock. So unless I take a jet airplane after the game.
You have plenty of time.
Yeah.
You'll be able to come in for halftime.
Halftime, right. Yeah, I can take the helicopter and have the helicopter land on top of the roof.
Well, I hear the Coolers are putting all kinds of money. They might as well put in a helicopter pad for you.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Don't miss because you'll be floating down the Genesee River.
Yeah. So the schedule is kind of interesting. The season's going to be starting soon. Today,
we just really got out of Mann Cup, right?
Yeah, and
lo and behold,
weren't there supposed to be two teams playing in that?
Well, the second team actually played in the first game, and then because they lost in double overtime, I guess they spent their energy.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
because you come up after that kind of, absolutely, that game was one for the ages, and we're all thinking, wow, this is going to be a great series. And then the very next night it was 10-1. And that's more indicative of how the series went. Now, it's funny because I really thought that Oakville should have put it together enough to beat Peterborough, but they had some staffing issues and they were missing a lot of their players. And even using the Oakville B players, which, by the way, left them kind of short-handed for the President's Cup, they still showed very well. And if anybody has any questions, because I'm sick and tired of answering this, listen closely, people. If anybody has any questions about whether Nick Rose is the number one goalie, be quiet. Be quiet. The man faced 60 shots a night against Peterborough, and Peterborough are winning 9-8, 8-7. So he wasn't the issue. And come the new year, I'm sure he won't be the issue again. Like, seriously, right?
Now, Gary, you know that's not going to happen.
I know, very first game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, me hearing, we should be playing whomever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know it and I know it. And
have another drink and light the next thing up and whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you, Nick stood on his head. If anybody didn't see any of this series, my God, to watch Nick live, like for a big man, he is agile.
Yeah.
And the one thing that they kept beating Scigliano with, that they didn't quite beat Rose all that often with, was that cross pass, short, fast, quick stick. And that worked wonders during the Mann Cup finals.
Yeah.
I don't know how many goals Adam Jones got with that quick stick. I hope he remembers it during the year, because he forgot it last year.
Yeah.
He was busy firing at howitzers from Mississauga. So hopefully we move a little bit closer.
Well, the whole team was doing that.
Well, ironically, it's funny. I was at TIFF last Saturday, the Toronto International Film Festival, and I'm standing in line at Roy Thompson Hall to get in to watch Life Itself. Really good movie. And who walks by me in the line? Blaine Manning, assistant coach of the Rock.
Prairie Dog.
Everything draws everybody to this, right?
Jeez.
We're all showing our cultural side.
Yeah. The old Prairie Dog.
Surprising. It's surprising to him. He noticed me before I noticed him. Even more surprising.
Well, what was it? Last week, I went to the Combine at the Wings practice facility. To say there was very little talent would be an overstatement.
Really?
It was bad.
Really?
It was bad. I mean, you had some Philly box players showing their talent and everything. Didn't look too bad.
See, that's the problem when you put all these combines all over the place.
Yeah.
When you had one combine, the league could hide this a little bit.
Right.
Because there were so many players into one combine. But when you thin it out into different cities, it's
it's rough.
it exposes is what it does.
Yeah. Well, the one person I had my eye on was Doug Mather, the goalie for Team USA. I was just watching how he was doing during, because I don't know if it was just the fact of him hoping to get selected and being invited to the draft or what have you, or just going and saying, hey, look, I know I'm not going to be selected or what have you, but I just want to sharpen my skills up for Team USA. He didn't look too bad. But everybody else, The bright spot of the day for me was, I had two bright spots. I had somebody from the NLL come over and ask if I was going to be streaming the game because one of the GMs couldn't make it and wanted to watch the game. So I went ahead and I streamed it. I had my new little mini video camera. I was streaming the game. It was on our In Lacrosse We Trust website, on the Facebook page, I should say. And also, I had a nice 17-minute sit-down with General Manager of the New England Black Wolves, Rich Lisk.
I watched that. That was very good.
Yeah. He actually came over to me while, I seen him, and he's like, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm going to try to get, some people to come on air, talk, some of the, people that are out there showing their talent. And, he goes, well, if you have time, he goes, I like to talk. I said, Rich, just come on over. I said, I got all the time in the world. So he came right on over. We had a nice little 17-minute talk. He talked about how the move happened. So some people out there in Philly are still wondering. If you watch the interview, you'll hear Rich Lisk say, yes, it happened over a couple of days. There was offers on the table that couldn't be refused. It happened that quick. As quick as you saw it announced, that's how quick it happened. And he was talking about how, the faces that were here in Philly, the Crowleys, the Brett Mannies, and players of that nature, how they, how the fans have taken to them. They brought in Sean Evans as another, at the time, role model player, and to get the team up and going, and and things like that. So, he talked about how within 10 days they had to get a team name, logo, arena, boards, except everything.
You remember that they were still wondering if they could actually, if the boards were sustainable.
Exactly. So he went through all that, and he's, he said everything is going great. And he lives in New Jersey. So he.
Well, interesting enough, there was a clinic in New Jersey.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks back, and lo and behold, Commissioner Sakewicz was there, and telling the kids, "Don't worry, kids. There's going to be a new franchise close to here." So I don't know if Si's thing is going to be Long Island, or it's going to be Brooklyn, or something like that, or it's going to wind up being in North Jersey. But according to the commissioner himself, that's where another team's coming.
Yeah, we'll have to see as when and if that will happen. Because
I'm sure that Rich knew about that too. So
yeah,
which will make it interesting for him too.
Oh yeah,
because he flies to New England all the time.
Exactly.
In his backyard. So again, more things to chat about.
More things to chat about, right? And Glenn Clark was there, the head coach of New England. They were doing some of the practices with the combine participants. Coach Paul Day came in actually right after, in between games 2 and 3, he flew in. And
right. What a great guy, man. I met him during, just after the Peterborough beat Oakville. Mm-hmm. And here I am, walking across the field, calling for him, and lo and behold, he turned around and we had a little chat. He recognized me, and what a great guy.
Yeah, he is a fantastic guy. I mean,
he's going to be really good as the face of Philly.
Yeah, he's. I mean,
nice guy, but I tell you what, man. I imagine if he gets a stupid question, he'd be the first one to look at you and go, "Can you smarten up?"
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the way he comes across, and no nonsense. Former cop, right?
Yep.
So, but man, he knows how to put a team together.
Yeah, he does, and I think that, like I said, the people here in Philly are going to be really, really happy. They really are with the team he's going to be putting together, and
regardless if it's going to be a championship team or not, at least it's going to be one in the how should we say, that the city of Philadelphia can call their own.
Yeah.
It will be a grittier team.
Oh, definitely.
It will be a tough team. It will be something to be the people who liked Mill back in the 70s can be proud of. The people who like NLL in the 80s and 90s could be proud of.
Yeah, the team's going to be competitive.
Have a nice combination of both.
Yeah, the team's going to be very competitive.
Yeah, that's the other part. Win, lose, or draw is going to be a very competitive game, and I think you will get everything out of your entertainment dollar.
Right. Now,
and I'm actually looking forward to, I intend to making a trip, whether it's Toronto in there or not. I probably will come when it's warmer because I'm not stupid. I can get all the cold weather I want here.
Right. Well, if you're looking at...
yeah, I plan on doing a couple of trips this year. One, I want to be in Colorado. I've already made plans about that. And Philadelphia will be on there as well.
Well, if you're looking at coming to Philly, the last home game is April 6th, and you're already going to Rochester.
I'm sure that there's a game or two before that one that's still in the no snow zone.
March 23rd.
Yep, I've done March before there. I can do that.
Well, March 23rd is the New England Black Wolves.
Right. Well, I seem to follow New England Black Wolves everywhere I travel.
Yeah, and then before that, you're looking at March 8th, so that's still snow zone at that point. The 23rd, you're kind of borderline, I'd say. But yeah, Paul Day is one of the classic coaches / GMs that are out there. And today, the Wings had a thing at their practice facility, which they share with the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers were starting their training camp today, I should say, at noon. And from 11:15 to 12:15, there were 7 new Philadelphia Wings that were there. Okay, you had Frankie Brown, formerly of the Rochester Knighthawks.
The Halifax Privateers?
Yep. You had Jordan Hall, ex-Georgia Swarm. Anthony Joaquin, who came over from the New England Black Wolves.
What a steal. Oh my God, what a steal.
What, Jordan Hall?
No, Anthony Joaquin, man, I loved him on Brampton in the summer.
Yeah, he also went to St. Joseph's University right in the area, so he's happy to be back in the hometown area.
Sure.
Zach Reed, he was there. Matt Rambo, obviously. And also, this next name I'm going to mention, and you could quote me on this, he will be the captain of the Philadelphia Wings. Kyle Matisse.
Wow, there's something I didn't expect.
Yeah, I got a little...
I like it, but I didn't expect it. I think they put the C on Jordan Hall and let it run.
Yeah, I think they're going Kyle Matisse.
They're going for a long-term thing there.
Yeah.
It could have gone on Brett Hickey, too, since they gave him a 4-year contract.
Well,
and the team around him, but...
they may be extending Kyle a little bit, too, I think. So
I think they have to now that they put the C on him.
Yeah. I got to speak with him. I didn't get to really do a interview, per se, but the man is soft-spoken for his size. Okay? I had to count my fingers after I shook his hand.
Oh, the man is huge.
The man's got some mitts on him, okay?
Yeah, he's huge. It takes him about 4 steps to get down the floor.
Yeah.
Which he floats down there like a gazelle on transition.
Yes.
But he's got eyes that go with that height, so...
Yeah.
Big boy.
When he was sitting down, he was my height, okay? And I'm standing up.
Now, again, I just talked briefly about Brett Hickey. He came back because he had all this bad luck, stepping on balls, breaking ankles, and all kinds of things. It's happened to him twice. It happened to him in the beginning of the year here in the summer. And he was able to make it back for the playoffs, and he looked good.
Yeah.
He looked good. But you want a friendly guy in the community? That's him. And also tough as nails.
You're talking about Hickey?
Hickey.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that sense from him.
Yeah. Like I say, I've talked to him outside of the place too, and just because he works in Toronto.
Right.
Just a really, really good guy. Really sorry to see him go. But I hope the injury thing is done, and I hope he flourishes.
Yeah.
4-year contract. I hope he just rips it apart like he did here, and puts together another 50-goal season.
Oh, you're not the only one that's hoping that.
When he's he's healthy, he's just unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah, and I tried to tell some people that because I went there, I had my jersey on today, and they want to know, what do you know about these guys? And I kind of gave them a little rundown on each one, and tried to tell them, hey, look, you don't want to miss any of this. You really don't. I mean,
Doug Buckham is. I'm hoping once the nets are a little bit bigger that he's as good as he was in the summer, holding it together while both Kirk and Vince were busy trying to win an NLL Cup. Because he put the team on his shoulders in goal for Peterborough.
Right.
And, of course, when they both came back, he, never saw many playoff games, didn't see any playoff games.
Right.
As they were putting Kirk and Vince, obviously.
Now what?
Had a 4-game sweep for the Mann Cup. But when he comes to Philadelphia, because I don't think DeRuscio is the answer. I think he's a good backup, solid off the bench. But Buckham's, if he's playing like he played in Peterborough, he can be a very viable starting goalie.
Yeah, that's what the Philadelphia Hens are going to want. They're going to want to see what.
But I'm worried a little bit like Bouquet of last year, who off the bench and played decent in relief of Dylan Ward when he was in Colorado. Had a great summer at WLA with the smaller nets, and everybody thought, wow, he found his thing.
Yeah.
And back to the big nets, and he had a dreadful time last year in Buffalo. A lot of it had to do with not having the New Westminster defense in Buffalo. He was opposed, but a lot of it had to do with having a couple more inches on either side to guard. And we're not talking about an amateur team. You're talking about professionals who, if you put a P in that little corner, will peg off the P.
Yeah.
So they're going to hit these corners.
Yeah, so hopefully Buchan can do that unless there's somebody else out there that Paul Day has his eye on. Yeah, and we see what happens. But you have the one thing that kind of stood out to me here is I noticed that Aaron Bold signed with Vancouver.
Yes, he did. I think he got tired of traveling.
Yeah, but that also tells me that right now the goalie that New England has is Doug Jamieson,
who also had a very good summer for Six Nations.
Right, but when he was in the Nets last year, when he came in, did not do all that great of a job. So
again, we have the bigger Nets, right?
Right.
And we also have the senior A guys, not the junior A guys that he was facing in the Minto.
So you have to see
what's another year under his belt and facing the senior A guys in MSL. He got a little bit more of a gist of the shooting on a regular basis. Plus, this time around, he was the starting goalie for Six Nations as opposed to riding the bench most of the summer.
Well,
because the guys like Miller and then the guys who were Ward, who were there last year, took the summer off.
Well, hopefully for his sake.
He was the guy sharing it with Angus Goodleaf.
Yeah.
And doing the majority of the playing. So he got a whole lot more seasoning this summer to get ready for the NLL shooters.
No, hopefully he's ready because.
Well, he's going to have to be. I think he's the only game in town now.
An option, right? Now the draft is coming up in 1 week. I will be there on Tuesday the 25th. There's a lot of talk going on about the number 1 pick. The name of Austin Stotts is buzzing around.
Well, since he declared, that's the guy.
Right,
and,
but
he's
he also
very, very known that he wants to go to Buffalo.
Exactly what I'm getting at. He wants,
being that his family is all in Syracuse.
Right, he wants to go to Buffalo. Now, if you're San Diego, you have the number 1 pick. Do you work a trade where you get 3 and 4?
I would personally.
You would or wouldn't?
I would. There's enough out there that 3 and 4 are both going to be very viable players.
Right, but I would want something else. I would want an established player as well from them.
I could take 3 and 4. I already know the players that I could get for that. And if I really wanted to get an established player, I could trade that. and I can get a whole whack more with both of those picks.
I'd want an established player in 3 and 4. If you want number 1 and you want Austin Stotts and he's supposed to be everything that people are saying, you better give me some type of an established player that I could put into my lineup right now.
But the other thing is that you run the risk of not doing it and asking for too much, drafting him, and then he doesn't report.
And you still have his rights.
Yeah, and he'll go to school because he has another year.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. So he still has the hammer in this. So I would make sure myself. I would take 3 and 4. Because again, yes, the numbers are great, Junior. Yes, the numbers are great in field, but against the big boys, still improving.
Yeah.
And I watched Tahoka Nanticoke playing MSL this summer, and he lit it up in Minto last year. He lit it up in Junior. He lit it up in field. And yeah, he was a standout comparative, but he wasn't the Nanticoke when you're talking about big fish, little pond.
Right.
You're just one of the fish. So that puts him as an upper echelon player, but isn't that what we have in the NLL?
Right. Well, he could. You never know. He could. Maybe San Diego doesn't go that route for him, and they grab somebody else, and maybe Stotts goes 2, and Philadelphia takes him.
Possible.
I mean,
but does Philadelphia take him?
I mean,
or does Philadelphia try and get the trade done?
Well, you got a player like that. If he wanted to go to Buffalo so his family can see him because they're in Syracuse. What's Buffalo? Buffalo to Syracuse is what, 2.5?
Yeah, if that.
Okay. Well, it's an hour from Syracuse to Rochester.
Yeah.
So about 2.5, depending on the traffic. It's only at the most 4 hours from Philly to Syracuse.
Once again, I'm trying to get inside the head of a player.
Right.
That doesn't work very often.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe maybe he drops a 2, Philly takes him. Or, like you said, maybe Philly does the trade and takes 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. It all depends what happens. Now, let's just say he goes 1 or San Diego does the trade. Okay? Buffalo or San Diego takes Stotts. You're Philadelphia. Who do you take it to?
That's a good question.
There's a lot out there.
There is an awful lot out there.
There's one name that I know Paul Day likes, and that's Chris Cloutier.
Well, Chris Cloutier was the Rookie of the Year in the MLL too, right?
Yes.
And he had a really good summer until he got hurt in Coburg.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's a very viable option. Andrew Q is another one out of, a Mimico boy, but out of, also played for Kitchener.
Yep.
I played for the Oakville Rock this summer and was a standout.
Yeah, so number 2 can carry a lot as well. So you see you really got to see what's going to be out there, because Philly and San Diego are going to have some picks here. They get the first 2 picks. They go 1-2 in the first round, and in the last round, which is I believe the 6th round, and in rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, not only do they pick first and second, but they also have the last 2 picks as well in that round. So not only will Philly go San Diego, Philly at the start of the second round, but to end the second round, it goes San Diego, Philly. So it's going to kind of play with everybody's draft selections. Where you're thinking, oh yeah, I get to pick, at number whatever. Well, no, that goes to San Diego. Oh, what about this number? No, that goes to Philly. You're here. So you got to see what's going to happen. Now, another thing I'm curious about, and I really need to find this out, is what they are going to do next year for the expansion. I'm assuming Philly and San Diego are going to be automatically in it again, where they're going to have to sacrifice 2 players.
Of course they are. They're part of the league.
Yeah, but I don't know if they would do that to a team that just had their first year in the league. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to.
They would have to.
You know.
But they would have to put a different scenario on it because, or they'd be picking more players for the next set because you have more teams.
Right.
So I'm not sure how they would work it, but they have a year to figure that one out.
Yeah, something's has to be done because I mean you're just bringing players into a team, and now you're adding. Well, so far 1 expansion. Most likely there's going to be 2 more. So you're adding 3 more expansion teams. Let's just say.
None of the teams that you see now are going to look like this in 3 years' time.
Right. So it's.
Hey, just on a side note, I keep going back to Mann, and sorry if I'm getting anybody confused going back and forth. There's just a story that just popped up in my head that I just wanted to tell. With Peterborough winning the Mann Cup, Adam Jones, that's his back-to-back cups there. Now, the interesting thing is this. One of the people to come and celebrate with him was his dad, Brian Jones, who won the Mann Cup as a member of the Peterborough Red Oaks 40 years earlier.
But you're also forgetting another one.
Mm-hmm.
That would be Sean Evans and his dad.
As well, but this one here is strange. It's on the same floor, same city.
Mm-hmm.
40 years exactly.
Yeah. Well, they're both. There's a picture of both of them.
Yeah, no, I see it. I have it here in front of me, actually.
Yeah, it's got. I think it's Sean's father's name is Paul.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we have Brian with Adam.
Adam, right? So it shows Paul, Sean, Adam, and Brian.
That thing 40 years ago. So
yeah,
deja vu factor.
Yeah, 40 years later, the Suns
win the cup on the same floor.
Yeah.
Same building, same floor.
Yep, that's something.
They're getting second opinions now if they still have that floor soon.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Peterborough's having a little bit of trouble with the floor. They may have to rip out the whole thing, which will put them either in a much, much smaller arena, which is not good when you have a huge season ticket holder base, or it might put them in Coburg, which would be strange too, but at least they'll be able to keep their season ticket holder base. So they're trying to convince the city to go for a second opinion, to take a look if they really need to do the whole floor, or just little pieces of it or portions of it that they can get away with actually having a floor, or if they need to do it at all. So stay tuned. This is going to be a lot more interesting before it's over. Yeah,
it's going to be quite interesting with that. I mean, right now, Peterborough wins it again. I mean, it's
a very convincing fashion at that in 4 games straight.
Yeah, it's that was just scary how they did that.
Which is fine for me because driving to Peterborough all the time is a pain, especially when I got to work at 4 in the morning.
Hey, due to crime, due to time, right?
My nervous system is very happy to getting more than 2 hours sleep a night.
Yeah, I know that feeling, but I mean, right now things are kind of at a lull around the league. We haven't had a lot of signings.
This is where everybody heals.
Yeah. You haven't had really a lot of signings. Well, actually, like August 28th, Frankie Brown signed a 2-year deal with the Wings. One person I was really shocked to see that the Wings signed was Isaiah Davis-Allen, who plays for the Chesapeake Bayhawks in the MLL. This guy has some talent out on the field. I don't know how it's going to transfer into the box game, but even if half of that talent, he can pull it from the field into the box game, the Wings have a good person right there.
Interestingly enough, when we're talking about Jameson, I meant to mention that Warren Hill, who was also part of the Six Nations crew.
Yep.
The third goalie, and got into a few games, who's been sitting as the third goalie in Georgia, has now signed on with the New England Black Wolves. So he might actually get a viable opportunity to see what he can do. Because the times he has been in, he's been decent. So let's see if he can ride the wave and see if he can steal a job.
Yeah, and that was one player that I thought the Wings might have gone after as a goalie to get Warren Hill. But now
but they went after Bucket instead, and they got that. In my opinion, that's a better number 2 or number 1.
Or number 1, yeah. So we'll have to see what happens. No doubt they're probably going to sign a third goaltender somehow.
Oh yeah, you know it. They're going to have one on their practice squad.
Yeah. So we'll see who they bring in. Maybe goaltender number 3 can steals it from both of them.
It'd be interesting at draft day to see who moves for what.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, happy birthday to Dan Lintner of the Toronto Rock. Today is his birthday.
Yep.
Of the Brooklyn Redmen as well, for you Redmen followers.
He's a ripe old what? 26?
That.
Half my age.
Oh yeah, half mine.
Sucker.
Yeah, still on the upside.
But next Tuesday, I want to warn people out there right now. Even though you might want to watch it on NLLTV.com if you have subscription to it.
By the way, did anybody realize that Jim Veltman is back with the New England Black Wolves?
He is.
He is. I have a picture in front of me here from the Combine today in Toronto. With him, with Glenn Clark and a few others, the coaching staff, just having a look from the upper echelon, looking down on the field.
And it says he's back with them?
He's sitting there with the coaches table.
Oh, he could have just been sitting. I don't know if he's back.
Well, he is with the coaches table. He's not sitting with Jamie in the offices.
He could be as an advisor. I don't know.
But yeah, he was taking a year sabbatical. That year's up.
Yeah. Maybe
Let's see what he does.
Yeah,
if
maybe.
nothing else, Scoop will show a few tricks again.
You think? You think?
So.
He has tricks?
Well, if you can keep a friggin' Dyson vacuum cleaner in your backpack, away you go, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he earned that name, that's for sure. But what I was saying was, even if you watch it on NLL TV, go over to the Facebook page for In Lacrosse We Trust. I'm going to try to have a live feed going. And of course there's no holds barred on, I guess, language that might pop out. Like they went that route. But I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to find out where I'm going to fall in the pecking order as far as interviews. Because we obviously know it's going to go through NLL first, and the teams and whatever other lacrosse outlets, and my main goal is to get the players that are going to be on the Philadelphia Wings, obviously. So we see where I fall in that pecking order, so I can get them, live right there on the feed, and maybe ask them questions that the others won't ask. Just try to pick their brain a bit, and some fun stuff there at the draft, which should be quite an experience.
I think so. I had a good time at last year's draft.
Yeah.
I got a chance to meet up with most of the new draftees, as well as hobnob with a bunch of players.
Yeah, a bunch of the players, the owners. I'll get a chance to run into Steven Stamp again and congratulate Stamper once again on the Tom Borelli Award. And see who else is.
Him and Pat Gregoire did a fantastic job with Mann Cup.
Yeah.
And their rhythm, their flow was perfect for this, and they did a great job. Yeah,
there are times when who can, you pair somebody up and they could just feed right off each other, and just like God, I can go back about 5 summers ago when you had Jumbo Jake Elliott and Teddy Jenner doing the summer games at WLA for the Langley Thunder. Talk about 2 guys that can feed off each other with no problem. It wouldn't surprise me if those 2 could do the game with their eyes closed.
Yeah, well, unfortunately at Minto, Casey Guerin was supposed to be Jake Elliott's partner. Now, Jake did a phenomenal job, and with all the controversy that went on in there, did a phenomenal job getting the information out. Again, Casey is battling in Philadelphia Hospital for a rare disease that in his lungs that they're trying to fix up. So hearts and thoughts and prayers and everything go out to Casey for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a great guy. If anybody ever gets a chance to talk with him, just a phenomenal guy. Friendly, lots of knowledge. Peterborough boy.
Yeah.
Who lives out in Saskatoon now and has done color for the Rush for a number of years, and was a really good add to that team.
Hopefully he's back behind the mic soon.
Very soon, I hope.
Yeah. One thing, when you mentioned the Philadelphia Hospital, it kind of clicked in, and you'll see why. I don't know if you saw it though, Gary. I know it's up on YouTube, but the Humboldt Broncos actually scored their first goal since that tragic accident.
I watched the game. TSN had it live here.
Yeah. I mean, that was just, something, That kind of, gets things back, back to normal somewhat.
Somewhat.
For them, yeah.
Somewhat. They had a really nice opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Again, if you remember, I happened to be in Saskatoon the day it happened. So a lot of information was coming fast and furious around that time. But they have rebuilt, and they have kept the memories alive, and they're moving forward, which is what everybody wanted to get done.
Yeah.
So it's a heartwarming story, pulling out of a huge tragedy, and let's hope we never ever have to do something like this again.
Yeah. Gary, before the phone dies out here, because it's starting to slowly but surely, we're gonna end this now. Hopefully, next week we come back around the same time. We'll know the team name of the Vancouver Lacrosse Club. Maybe get some more information that's out there. Maybe there might be some trades done by that point. Whatever. Maybe I'll have some information about the draft that's going to be happening on Tuesday. But we'll see what happens. And everything gets rocking and rolling a week from this Tuesday on the 25th when the draft happens.
Yeah, and then the whole ahead until training camp opens, and away we go. December 1st, the season starts. Away it happens.
Yep, everything is going to be starting real soon, real quick. So we'll have to see what happens. So for Gary Grube at laxphilly.com, I'm Rocco Granato at InLacrosseWeTrust.com. We'll see everybody here again next week.